In the world of fast food music and viral TikTok trends, one man stands as a reminder of what true greatness looks like. He is a multi-instrumentalist who plays the drums, guitar, bass, and keyboard with the soul of a veteran. He is a dancer whose feet seem to defy the laws of physics. And he is a singer whose voice carries the weight of 50 years of musical history. We are talking about the one and only Bruno Mars. But today, we aren't just looking at the hits. We aren't just talking about the 15 Grammy Awards or the billions of dollars in revenue. Today, I want to take you behind the curtain. I want to show you the scars, the rejections, and the absolute obsession that turned Gene Hernandez into a global phenomenon. How does a kid from a broken home in Hawaii, who was once dropped by his label for being unmarketable, end up dominating the Super Bowl halftime show? To understand Bruno, we have to understand the soil he grew up in. We have to go back to an island that the world sees as a paradise. But for a young boy, it was a rigorous training ground for the toughest industry in the world. Born on October 8, 1985, in Honolulu, Hawaii, Bruno's life was a literal melting pot. His father, Peter Hernandez, was of Puerto Rican and Jewish descent. Originally from Brooklyn, his mother, Bernadette San Pedro Bayo, was a talented singer and dancer who had immigrated from the Philippines as a child. Think about that mixture for a second. In the Hernandez household, you didn't just hear one type of music. You heard the percussion of Latin soul, the melodies of Filipino ballads, and the grit of New York doo-wop. Bruno once described his home as a place where music was as essential as oxygen. Every family gathering was a concert. Every dinner was a rehearsal. His father was a huge fan of 1950s rock and roll, and he ran a world-class revue show in Waikiki. This wasn't a hobby. It was how the family survived. And it was here, at the age of 2, that Gene Hernandez received the nickname that would change his life. His father saw a resemblance between the chunky little boy and the legendary professional wrestler Bruno Sammartino. From that day on, he wasn't Peter anymore. He was Bruno. While other 4-year-olds were playing with building blocks, Bruno Mars was wearing a gold lame suit and a pompadour wig that was almost as big as he was. His father saw the natural rhythm in his son and put him in the family show as an Elvis Presley impersonator. This wasn't just a cute kid act. Bruno was performing 5 nights a week. He was learning how to handle a crowd of thousands of tourists. He was learning the Elvis sneer, the hip thrusts, and most importantly, the discipline of a professional. By the age of 6, he was so famous in Hawaii that he appeared in the 1992 film Honeymoon in Vegas. And was interviewed by major news outlets as the world's youngest Elvis.
How you guys doing today? Nice to see you. My next guest on my show is Bruno. Yay!
But as he grew older, his influences shifted. He discovered the magic of Michael Jackson. He began to study MJ's every move, the precision, the energy, and the way Michael used his voice as an instrument. Later, he added the funk of Prince and the soul of James Brown to his repertoire. However, life wasn't always a spotlight. Behind the scenes, the family faced financial struggles. There were times when the music shows didn't pay enough. There were times when the family didn't even have a permanent home. Bruno recalls living in the back of a car or in small shacks.
It had a roof.
It didn't have plants growing inside.
It didn't have plants growing inside. I don't know what happened to the roof. But the bed would be right there in the middle. We'd all sleep in one bed.
Happy memories?
The best.
The man who sings about I Just Might Today once looked at a $10 bill like it was a fortune.
You play cards as well?
I do, yeah.
What kind of cards is that?
I used to play poker a lot. I used to play a long time ago. For a long time, I actually, that's how I would pay my rent. And then I stopped.
As he entered his teenage years, Bruno started his own band, the Schoolboys. They performed covers of Motown hits and 1950s classics, but something was bothering him. He realized that in Hawaii, he was a star, but if he stayed there, he would only ever be a tribute act. He didn't want to be the next Elvis or the next Michael Jackson. He wanted to be the first Bruno Mars. In 2003, at the age of 17, with the blessings of his family, he bought a one-way ticket to Los Angeles. Angeles. Los Angeles is a city that eats dreams for breakfast. When Bruno arrived, he was hit by a cold reality. Nobody cared about the Elvis kid from Honolulu. He eventually landed a deal with Motown Records in 2004. This should have been a dream come true, but it turned into a nightmare. The label executives were confused by him. They told him, "Your music is too diverse. Are you a Spanish singer? Are you an R&B singer? We can't sell you." Within a year, Motown dropped him.
It was taking a step back. I used to be able to walk into a room and say, "Hey, I'm Bruno Mars, I'm signed with Motown Records." And then now I have to say I got dropped from Motown Records. You lose leverage, you lose people believing in you because well, why didn't it work?
Brutal as that?
It wasn't as brutal as that. And you know what? It's not Motown's fault. I was too young. I didn't know what it was like. I knew I could sing. I knew I could sing, but there's so much more that I had to learn. I didn't come from the recording background. I came from doing live shows and performing with bands, and that was my craft. I didn't know what it took to be, to record and be a recording artist. And okay, now you got to write songs. Now you got to establish who you are.
He started writing songs for $20, $50, anything to keep the lights on. He was pawning his guitars one week and buying them back the next. This period of hunger is what gave Bruno Mars his edge. He teamed up with Philip Lawrence and Ari Levine to create a production trio called the Smeezingtons. Bruno spent 12 to 14 hours a day in a cramped studio, studying the architecture of a hit. During these years, Bruno was the ghost behind the scenes. In 2009, he co-wrote and remade a classic track for Flo Rida, known today as Right Round. It became a global smash. He was making the money, but he was still invisible. Everything changed with Nothing on You.
Beautiful girls all over the world. I could be chasing, but my time would be wasted. They got nothing on you, baby.
The label wanted a big-name singer for the chorus, but when they heard Bruno's demo, they kept his voice. The song went to #1 worldwide. Suddenly, the industry was asking, who is this guy with the golden voice? He followed this with Billionaire, and Atlantic Records finally gave him the green light for his solo album. Released in 2010, Doo-Wops and Hooligans made him a superstar with Just the Way You Are and Grenade. He proved his versatility with Unorthodox Jukebox and the legendary Super Bowl halftime show in 2014.
See, I ain't tryna hurt you, baby. No, I just wanna work you, baby. If you scared, you gotta run.
Critics said he wasn't big enough, but he delivered one of the greatest performances in history. In 2016, he returned with 24K Magic.
Put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do?
A celebration of 90s R&B. He swept the Grammys, winning every category.
Wow. Oh man, thank you. Thank you guys so much. Wow.
But he didn't stop there. He formed Silk Sonic with Anderson .Paak.
I ain't playing no games. Every word that I say is coming straight from the heart. So if you're trying to
Bringing back the smooth soul of the 70s. Leave the Door Open proved that people still craved a slow, soulful groove. Now, in 2026, Bruno Mars is a living legend. His recent collaborations have redefined the charts once again. Die with a Smile with Lady Gaga became an instant classic, bringing back the raw power of a duet. Then, he shocked the world with Apt, featuring Rose, bridging Western pop and K-pop.
baby, I just might make my baby. Hey. I just might.
Whether it's the soulful I Just Might or a viral dance track, his signature is everywhere. Why do we love Bruno Mars? Because he never took a shortcut. He is a perfectionist and a survivor who respects his audience. From being the world's youngest Elvis to the mastermind behind Apt, his journey is a blueprint for anyone with a dream. If you enjoyed this, support IconicRes Entertainment. Like, subscribe, and tell us which Bruno Mars era is your favorite. Until next time, keep the music playing.